Hey, hello, guys. We're here. We're live. We tried starting on time today, but we didn't make
Girls.
it again. We did girls. No, we can't. We can't start off. No, Jamie, we can't start off on that foot. We started off on that foot. You actually. So Poker Life Podcast. This is a live. I gotta say it right. It's a live stream. I'm joined today by the first person I ever had on a Poker Life podcast. Not the first guest.
Is
I
that
ever had.
true? I didn't know that.
That's true.
Oh,
Well, because
cool.
I started. I remember before we did it on Skype, and it was like the video was like bad quality. I didn't know what I was doing, and
Yeah.
yeah. So you already put me down for my combination of outfit today. I'm wearing my tank top and this hat that I enjoy wearing because I didn't want to do my hair because I didn't want to do my hair. So Jamie, what's going on? Whoa, what's going on with you, Jamie? How are you doing today? How are you doing?
Yes. I'm pretty good. It's finally not winter anymore. This is awesome in New Jersey. So it
Yeah.
was sunny out. I went running, having a good day. And I'm not drunk like the last time I was on your podcast. I don't know if you even noticed.
What, you were drunk last time you were on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You were with a guy though. What were you and this guy doing drunk over there together on a podcast?
What? I was not with a guy. I had friends over.
Okay, so Jamie, for those that don't know who you are, I look at you as Miss Party Poker in New Jersey because every time I see you, you're either winning a tournament on Party Poker New Jersey, you're talking about a tournament, you're hosting an interview, you're doing all that kind of fun stuff. It looks like. What's your is that like your number one thing right now?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I'm trying to promote it to more states so that it's not just New Jersey. So I have been really trying hard. I just started Twitch last Sunday, trying to get some tournaments so people can see what it's like playing in. Sorry, I'm getting all these like pop-ups and stuff. I think I probably just downloaded a bunch of viruses. Um, I want like other states to see what regulated online poker looks like, and hopefully some politicians will wake up and we won't have to like move to Mexico and Canada to play. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do lately.
So you're trying to just like show that poker in New Jersey is going well, and it's I guess so what do you think effect that would have in terms of achieving that?
Well, a lot of the people who are watching my Twitch stream weren't from New Jersey, so they're like gamers who are playing in like other states who are checking it out, like people who don't even necessarily play poker yet. So I'm just hoping that like motivates people to make some changes. Because it would suck if it's just one state for us. It's not going to be very good. But now like Nevada and Delaware are compacting so they could play together. But like Delaware, there's like 6 people playing, so we need like New York, Pennsylvania, and California, and then it would be definitely worth it to play.
So what's kind of your role at Party Poker? Are you like is there a lead pro? Are you just part of a team? Are you the leader of the group,
Uh,
or how's it work?
it's just Scott Bauenstein, me, and Ken Danico, the New Jersey Devils guy, who like won 2 Stanley Cups and stuff. And he's quite the character. He's kind of new to poker, so he like loves it 100 more than me and you will ever love it. And I think he's pretty good for the site, promoting it. But yeah, it's just 3 of us right now.
So okay, so I guess for those that don't know who you are, which I guess some might not know who you are, what's your like? How would you describe yourself in like in a brief rundown of how?
I don't know. That's the most open-ended question.
All right,
Um,
I know
with
I can do it.
poker.
I can do it quickly if you think it's too broad of a question.
Mhm.
I would say
You're gonna sum it up?
you're a former lawyer turned poker player turned. I don't know. That's how I would describe you pretty much. I think that's like the most. That's like a really basic, easy
Yeah,
way.
that's pretty good. Yeah, that's about it for now. Eventually want to do a bunch of stuff, but right now I'm still playing poker and I don't know, other things. I used to live in Mexico, like kind of close to Tijuana, for about a year and a half playing online, just trying to like grind MTTs and stuff, and came back to New Jersey when Party Poker came to New Jersey because they scooped me up from Mexico for a sponsorship, and I was like definitely not going to turn it down because being an American and getting a sponsorship was like something I didn't even think about. I didn't think that was ever going to happen. So felt lucky. I got to come back here and be closer to my family and friends. And It sums me up for now. I guess I'm tweeting at the moment.
Sorry, cut out a little bit. What did you say?
Oh, I said that sums me up for now. I'm like not terribly exciting at the moment. Just grinding a lot.
Well, you mentioned you had some other things that you potentially wanted to do. What was that?
Well, like everyone else, I think of ideas for apps and I want to make them. So there's two that I'm like looking into making right now. But also the Twitch stream, if that like becomes, it's people are doing really well with it. Like you saw Jason Somerville's like 60,000 viewers. He's totally crushing it, and I think he's like helping get poker to like people who don't even play, which is so important for everybody who's already playing to have like new blood in the game who's not like a complete wizard at it already. And if it goes okay for me, I wanted to use it as like a way to fundraise cause I always like I'm a huge animal lover, and it kind of like makes me feel guilty that for the last few years I've been like selfish and just playing poker and not really doing anything charitable. So I was gonna see if I can set up a donation on my site for like straight to the ASPCA. So I want to do some stuff. I don't want to just like wither away grinding MTTs forever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of go through that point after they've been playing poker for so long. They're like, all right, what do I want to do next? It's because it's like, grinding poker only is so much. I wouldn't say so much fun, but it only like is so much fun for a little bit of time, and then at some point in time, you kind of reach the point where it sounds like you're kind of hitting that point right now.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason I'm still playing it is because I haven't crushed it. I think if I'd crushed poker, I'd be on to something else. I think the fact that it got a lot harder and it's like now it's like more interesting than it was a few years ago to try to beat the game makes me that I'm still interested in it. But I do want like some kind of balance in my life where I work on other things too, so that you're in a downswing, you don't just want to jump.
Well, have you tried getting that balance in your life right now? What do you, in terms of your?
Yeah, like I do a lot of stuff, like, but I mean, as far as like making money, like I don't want to just be making money from poker. I want to like do other things so that you kind of a more normal life. But right now, like my life's pretty balanced as far as like I like going running, playing sports. Recently, a bunch of my friends and I started playing poker, this like really small game, and just getting drunk every Friday, like stuff like that. Just trying to make poker fun, trying to make life more fun, and not just always being on the grind.
Yeah, I think I reached that point maybe 5.5 years into my poker career where I was like, man, I want to find some more fun things to do. But I think that was also, it's weird because at poker, you play poker, you kind of play poker, a lot of people do, to make a lot of money. And that's not always going to happen for most people, but they still like really try at it for a very long time to try to make money at poker, and they might never make money from poker. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I've been thinking a lot about poker, just meeting so many new people lately, and I don't know where I was going at that point, but it was something from the point that you said.
I felt like I knew where you were going, even if you didn't. Just that you have to like enjoy the journey. You can't just be like, I'm doing this only to make money, and if I don't make $1 million in 5 years, then I totally failed. Like you have to make sure you're enjoying your life while you're grinding poker.
Yeah, that was basically what I was saying.
I thought you were doing.
But then at the same point, it's also kind of hard to do that because I also feel like you need to almost have yourself 100% dedicated to poker if you really want to have this like super high level of success at poker. And when you're trying to have more fun or you're balancing out with other things and you want to be more active and stuff like that, sometimes you kind of lose focus off poker and then your results might slip a little bit.
But that's where I disagree. I think people who are like singularly focused tend to like their life just suck, and then that has a really bad effect on your game. Like if you don't work out and you just get fat and lazy, like you're not going to think as well or as clearly, and then poker's going to suffer. So if you don't balance it and you just like go like tunnel vision toward poker, I think in the long run it's really bad for your game. There's the people who like lose it and then just like quit one day, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I've noticed lately talking to people is that they like, it's no right answer to that question, because some people say what you just said and some people say it's almost you need to be 100% focused, and it's, I think like everything, there's no right answer. It's kind of just whatever, try it for yourself and see what's the best approach for you, whether it's 100%
what makes you happy. Yeah, for me, being happy is like the most important part. Like when I'm happy, I'm playing better. I'm putting more hours into like training, watching training videos and stuff. I'm putting more hours into reviewing hand histories. And when I'm like unhappy or like miserable, I'm not doing anything else in my life. I feel like I don't have motivation to like work on my game either. So for me, I guess it's like super important to just make sure that like my life's really balanced and like happy and calm, and then everything else falls into place too.
So you mentioned that party poker pulled you out of, you were living in Mexico playing. What has the experience been like?
Mhm.
Was it what you expected? Do you wish that you could sometimes, do you wish that you would be traveling more or living outside the USA more to
Um,
play on
I
stars?
still have opportunities to do that. They're like pretty lax with like requirements. Like there's only a few big tournaments that like I absolutely have to be there for. Like we have a big series coming up in April that coincides with the Borgata 15K on the WPT, and there's like a million, excuse me, $1 million in guarantees online for NJ Cup for party. So for that, I like to be there. If I went to like Mexico to play something else, like I'd probably get fired. But other than that, like they don't care. Like I could go get lost for a month somewhere if I really want to. So it's been fine. Like I don't feel like there's that many restraints on what I do. I've been staying put just because I kind of want to. Like I traveled so much for like 2 years. Like I feel like I was always on a plane. So now I'm kind of like nice to chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, traveling isn't fun.
What's
I don't. I mean, I think it's fun to
everyone
some.
thinks it is.
Yeah, everyone thinks it is, but I don't think it's that fun, man. I think it's like, I don't know. It's hard, so hard to like do the things that you normally want to do. I guess I don't know. What do you think about what do you think about traveling in general for poker?
I think what you said is true. I think people who have a regular job and they can't travel, they're like, oh my God, it must be so nice. Like, hop on a plane and go over. Like, I don't know, that's like a waste of a day. And then flying home is a waste of another day. I'm like, I like being somewhere new. Like, I like to stay. Like, Mexico is cool because I'd fly there and I'd stay for 2 months. And I'd have like a normal life out there, like you actually like pick up the culture and the lifestyle, and you're like relaxed. You're not like if you go on vacation somewhere for a week, you feel like you have to do something every day, and like you can't. You do like touristy crap, and that's not really that fun. I like trying out new places for like a long time at a time, but I don't like traveling. I don't like I don't do it who go to like every circuit stop and every WPT, and they like don't even have a home base. Like I feel like I would get really sad not having like a home to come back to.
That's exactly how I would feel. But I've been meeting a lot of people who are like that. They don't live anywhere. They're traveling to every single tournament stop, and
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, man. That's especially if you're in makeup or you're losing, and it's just
That's something, yeah, like I've been really lucky to like not have a huge makeup number. I haven't had any like huge scores either though, so I guess like I've been just like somewhere in the middle, like min cashing the universe. But I don't know what that would be like to be like 200K in makeup and then like packing a suitcase, going to play a 1K somewhere where you have to like win it twice to even get out. Like I don't think that sounds very glamorous, but I don't know. Like Matt Salzberg's always like, "Who loves it more?" And I'm like, I think I love it more. Like I love poker and I love trying hard and traveling. Like I love playing these tournaments.
mm,
But there are some people who definitely love it more. Like Ari Engel, who just is in every tournament and everywhere all the time. I'm like, how does he do it? He must literally only sleep on planes.
yeah, man. I don't know. I really don't know how people do it. Yeah, like being that much in makeup and having to just
Yeah.
go somewhere the next day or travel 6 hours to somewhere. Or I guess they don't have to, but they set themselves up for that point, so they do travel somewhere
Yeah.
for another tournament, and if they win that tournament, they're still in a lot of makeup. So tournament world.
Yeah.
Now, have you been playing a lot of cash games since last time we talked to you?
Yes. Remember last year I actually kept to it. I said I wanted to play more cash this year. I'm playing a lot more cash. I'm probably like 50-50 now with tournaments and cash hours. So that's a big improvement in my life.
Have
I
you been
feel like I think I'm happier than the last time I talked to you because I'm like, oh, I'm actually working for a living. I'm not just like buying lottery tickets and tournaments.
have you been playing
Yeah.
just online? Even I remember before I would like text you at 2 a.m. and you'd be like, I'm playing live cash, and I'm like, yeah, what a degenerate. But are you
I
still
still
doing?
do that. I don't even. This is why I tell Matt Salzberg I love it more because I really do. I played last night till like 2:30 in the morning and like it was no big deal. I just feel like a big part of that is that I can find something to talk about with most people, so I like don't hate everyone at the table. And I'll listen to some old guy tell me his bad beat stories, and I don't mind it that much. So like live cash is not that bad for me. Like compare it to what it was like being a lawyer, and I was like alone in my office, like 2 hours a day reading tax code. So when you say like, oh, it's so boring playing live cash, I'm like, it's really not that bad compared to most jobs.
Yeah, I think I follow some girls on Twitter who really complain about the type of conversations they have at the live poker table with different men, and they seem to really dislike it. So it's
sometimes it's funny. It's like once in a while. It depends what mood you're in. Like there are times when like you can read someone, like you could read someone's face and be like, this woman does not want to talk to me. And some guys just don't care. They're like, I'm gonna talk to her anyway. She's gonna talk to me. Like some guy will talk to me for like 6 hours straight in a tournament. I'm like, I want to kill myself, but you know they have their own agenda, and this guy decides he wants to have a conversation. He's gonna have it, you know.
It kind of reminds me of.
I'm more prone to it than.
No, it kind of reminds me of like Middle Eastern guys at a nightclub, in that they're gonna talk. When they see a girl, they don't care. They're not taking no for an answer. They're just going straight ahead until it's like 100% no. Then they're on. That's the kind of situation it reminds me of. There's guys that just, you know, no shots at Middle Eastern guys, but I observe this a lot in my life, and it's you know, I wish I had.
So
more
you feel like.
What'd you say?
So I need to just say like some guy will be talking to me, and I'll be like 100% no. That's how you shut it down?
I think that's probably GTO from your standpoint, yeah. So, a couple people in the chat. We're live streaming this right now. One person said, "Why are we discussing party poker with an American?" Aunt Banks says that's because Jamie is the queen of party poker, party queen.
No, I feel like they probably don't know. We can play party poker in New Jersey, but it's not with the rest of the world yet. It's just with New Jersey people. So there's Party International and then Party Poker New Jersey also. So that's why.
And Judas Mark says, "How old is Jamie?" I believe Jamie is my age. She's my. I know you're. I know you're my age. So.
I'm 32. 32. I think I'm older than you, right?
Yeah, a couple years older than me. 32.
Yeah, we'll just go with your age then.
All right, 29. Ask Jamie if she grinded Tinder in Mexico. Ian asked. Shout out to Ian. What's up, Ian? Did you get any in the Tinder streets down in Mexico at all?
I did not hit the Tinder streets of Mexico. I feel like those are mean streets I don't want to have any part of.
You could be getting set up, could be getting catfished, to get kidnapped.
I was gonna say that seems like a place where like your best case scenario is like mugging. And the worst case scenario is like, I'm just part of the cartel now.
Did you have any, what was the scariest thing that you had happen to you when you were living in Mexico playing poker?
Nothing. I swear, we're insane, dude. American propaganda is ridiculous. Like, oh, if you go to Mexico, you get AIDS and die, basically, or you get shot by the cartel. Nothing happened to me. It was wonderful. It was like San Diego, but cheaper. And you know, slightly more ghetto, but I'm not gonna like go running down an alley by myself or something. But one of my sort of friends got kidnapped, but he totally had it coming to him. Because he would like solicit prostitutes and women who were not prostitutes and just ask like $20. So he was like really trying to get the whole time. But yeah, nothing happened to me.
So you said that you had a friend get kidnapped, but he was asking for it. Isn't that kind of like when people say, oh, like, I don't know what it looks like. There's a comparison. I don't want to. I'm bordering like the.
I know the comparison that you want to make, but this one, I'm telling you, this kid put himself in every kidnappable situation that you could. He's like basically like, hey guys, I have a lot of money on me. Does anyone want an American?
And so what happened with this kidnapping?
He bought himself out. Like they took him back to his apartment after like, driving him around for an hour, and he gave the people like all his money, and they left him. But I mean, I can't. When I'm saying I shouldn't do this, I'm like furthering the propaganda that Mexico is like dangerous. It's really not. This kid could get kidnapped in like Greenwich, Connecticut. That's the kind of person he is.
This is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Is this an anonymous friend? Can we say who this friend is in case he sounds like an interesting person?
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be proud of it that he got a shout out. You know Dan Colpoys?
What's the name?
Dan Colpoys? He'd be like pumped that we're talking about how kidnappable he is. Like, he'd be like, thanks, guys.
Recognize the name.
You're looking him up?
Of course. He doesn't look very kidnappable. I wouldn't want to kidnap him. He looks like he could fight him off pretty well.
Maybe. I don't know. If I was going to kidnap someone, though, I'd bring weapons, wouldn't you? I'm not just going to be like, hey, get in the car. Come on, do it.
I've never really thought about it too much, Jamie. Maybe this is when you're being a lawyer, you kind of think of you have cases like this, and you I don't know
How to
what
commit crimes? Yeah.
have you like I don't think we talked much about being a lawyer on the last time you were on, but do you have any like fun lawyer stories you can repeat or tell? Like what exactly was it like we see on TV in terms of being a lawyer? Were you defending the
Oh, and that's like the biggest lie ever, dude. Like lawyering on TV looks really fun, right? You're like, oh yeah, we're gonna like defend these murders and like have screaming fights in court and whatever. No, it sucks. It's so boring. It's kind of how poker in movies is, actual poker.
No. So you don't do anything glamorous at all.
No, not really. I was writing people's wills and healthcare directives and stuff. There were some things that were interesting. Like I met with a couple. It was a husband and wife, and then the husband wanted to like meet with me separately. Like waits till the wife leaves. He's like, "I'll call you." I'm like, "Okay." And he calls and has a separate meeting because he wanted to leave something in a separate will for his mistress. I was like, that was interesting. He's like 80.
How old was
I was like, man, Viagra has really come a long way.
How old was the mistress?
I don't know. I didn't meet her because like he just wrote a gift in his will for her, but I didn't meet her. She's probably like a younger woman, like 72.
I guess that's slightly younger. So that was the most extreme thing you had happen to you while lawyering?
Yeah, I'm telling you, lawyering is really boring. I have no good stories. Sorry.
I think if you had a good story, you
so
might have. What?
I probably, I don't know. I'd tell it. I don't care. I'm not trying to be a lawyer again. I could burn that bridge a few hundred times.
Yeah. So Daniel T. This is what I was saying. So Suits, the TV show, is a lie.
Yes, and if it was like Suits, like if the people, first of all, if any of the lawyers looked like the lawyers in Suits, I'd still be a lawyer because I'd be trying to get with everyone in the entire firm. If you got the kind of clothes that the red-haired chick gets, if I wore that, if I had her wardrobe, I'd still be a lawyer because I would just be like, this is too good to pass up. And if any of the things that happened, like they basically break the law in every single show and then fix it. Mm-hmm. If that happened, I'd still be a lawyer too. It would be interesting. You'd be like, well, who do we have to keep out of jail today? But no, it's not like that.
Well, I believe in the show her father is rich, so that's why she might have like a fund set up to buy those nice clothes. So yeah, I always thought Suits was legitimate, but Suits, for those that don't know, is a show on USA. I would recommend the show. I think it's very entertaining, but Jamie said it's not quite like being a lawyer, so. I guess that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to watch people be lawyers. That's why they need to make the shows completely ridiculous.
I guess that makes sense. There's just been so many shows with lawyers on there that I felt that was. I mean, I don't know. I guess I thought it was kind of close to being what it potentially is really like. So.
Just like I thought, I was like, wow, Grey's Anatomy is so fun, and everyone the whole entire show is like everyone having sex with everyone, and I'm like, I bet that's what being doctors is like. Probably not.
All right, so
probably doing a lot of surgery.
So you're saying there's not a lot of sex happening in these law offices? It's just.
Probably not. If there is, I don't want to know about it. All the people were gross.
Well, that's sad. That's very sad. I had this written down first. So first time we had you on the podcast, there may or may not have been some comments I said that there may have been some things I said that might have got the feminists a little bit angry at me. And I know this because I've talked to some of them in person since then, and they were angry at me.
You're talking to Jen. Jen was like, "What is he talking about?" And I was like, "It's okay." I was like, "Joe means well, I think."
So I know the big comment was I said something about I was joking. Let me preface this by saying I was joking about something about getting sponsored or something about being Twitter or something like that, and then I said it was because you're a girl. And then Jen got very angry at this. This is actually my first time having interaction with Jen, Jen is probably one of my Jen Shahad, she's one of my favorite people, technically.
She's awesome. She's like my best friend.
Yeah, she is. She's very cool. But when I was in LA, I met one of her friends who is a feminist writer, blogger, or a feminist content curator, as she puts it. Not a writer, not a blogger. And we engaged.
Okay.
We engaged in some nice, heated discussions about how misogynistic some of my comments are, and
Oh no.
I would just like to thank you for setting that up, because without me saying that to you in the first time, I never would have had a chance for this nice sit down with this young redheaded lad, Rihanna.
Oh, I'm sorry. It basically just like fed you to the wolves. Sorry.
Well, my fire alarm thing's going off. I'm gonna go push the button on it. But technically, it ended better than you might think. So I'll have to save that story for off the podcast. But it was just interesting hearing. I was at a dinner with three women, Jen, her friend, and then another young woman, and they were engaging in some of the terms that I use in the podcast. For instance, the BGG, the big girl grind. Daniel Negreanu, he's into the YGG, the young girl grind, and we were engaged in how bad those terms were to use. So they said I should be teaching I should be teaching guys the right way to refer to women, not refer to them as the YGG. Okay,
I never even heard those terms before, but sure, I don't know.
Okay, you're not as fiery about those topics as these young women were then.
No, I mean, I understand where they're coming from. Like, women get judged on their looks, like, way too much. And also, if anyone's ever successful, if female's ever successful, it's like, oh, it's because of some aspect of her physical look. But for the most part, I'm not that offendable. I don't know. Like even on our podcast, I was, like, annoyed, but I'm not, like, offended. I wasn't like, F this, turning the podcast off, screw Joe Ingram, hate him, whatever. I was just like rolling my eyes. When you're like, well, you have Twitter followers because you're a girl, I'm like, I don't post pictures of my boobs. Like, I was like, there's nothing about Twitter that's like, I don't know. I feel like there's certain things like Instagram. If like a royal flush girl is on Instagram, she's gonna have 1 million followers because she's beautiful and like it's pictures. But when it's like something intellectual, like if people are following it, it's not necessarily because they want to bang the girl. Like, it doesn't really make that much sense, you know? So like when you're like, people follow you on Twitter because of this, and I was like, probably not. It's not always attributed to being a girl or like someone wanting to bang you. Like, that's not really the case most of the time, I think. Are we gonna have a fight again? Looking at your face, I think we're gonna have a fight.
If this wasn't a podcast, I would go into this subject way more. But I'm gonna anger. Yeah. I know Jen's out there watching. She's going to get angry at me, and then she's going to beat me up the next time I see her. So I don't want that to happen. So that would be We'll talk about this one later, okay? David says, thanks for ruining my favorite show. So apparently David was, looks like we actually...
I still watch Suits, even though...
We actually have two people in love in the chat right now. It looks like we have a hooker aficionado who travels the world and kind of, I don't know, he loves hookers for some reason. Allie Bro and our friend Ashley Delaney. It looks like they're engaged in a love affair in the chat right now. I'm just taking it in. I'm watching it. Are you reading? Do you have the chat up on your end?
Oh, they're like picking each other up in the chat? It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Look at you making things happen.
I know. I wish there was more women involved in the chat or in the podcast, because I feel like I could really match people up pretty well in terms of viewers and commenters.
You're going to have a dating site. Wow. I don't know, man. I feel like Tinder's got you covered. It's fine.
I've never really used Tinder before.
No? I was on it for like less than 24 hours before I was like, this is a scary place. I don't want to like think of guys this way. Like, seriously, all I was doing is I'd get a message and I'd like talk to someone. They'd be like, do you want a dick pic? I'm like, talk to you for like 1 minute. No, I do not. Thank you though.
Isn't that what Tinder's all about?
Thanks for asking.
Like, you just kind of try to go from...
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's turning more into an...
Yeah, I feel like it's...
I think we're on lag right now.
I feel like Tinder is very much like efficient. Like, people aren't like, I'm gonna email with you for a month and meet you and then go on 7 dates and then see. It's like, you're like, I have a penis. Are you interested in it? And the girl's like, nah. And then they move on to the next person. That's Tinder.
Isn't that? You think that's GTO though? I mean, I guess depends what you look like as a man, but I think that's pretty GTO.
Yeah, it's a volume game.
Assuming that there's a big player for you to choose from.
Yeah. If there's enough, yes. If like exactly what you're looking for. It depends though. Like, what if you accidentally start liking a girl and that's how you start out your relationship? It's like, oh, that's kind of gross.
What do you mean?
That's where it's not GTO. If you're looking for like an actual girlfriend and you're like going at it the Tinder way and then it actually like starts out like that, you're like, I would feel weird about it. I'd feel like this is not how I wanted to start a relationship. You know, when you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, it was cute when you like talked to me at this poker stop and I was like, and I liked you. Instead, you're like, it was so cute when you sent me that dick pic.
Wait, have you had a love affair start off that way, where you met him at a poker table and then you guys were talking about your romance later on?
Maybe. Yeah, like I've dated poker players, so that's how you kind of meet a lot of the time. But that's like a good way to meet. Like when you sit and you sit with someone for a while and like they're not technically like hitting on you. They're just like getting to know you kind of, and then you realize you have common interests, and then they ask you, oh, you want to go on dinner break or something, and then you get drinks, and it's like the most natural way to meet someone instead of being like, I don't know, instead of being so like, hey, I'm interested in you in this one way only. Like you might only be making friends with this person you don't really know at the start. Like that's a good way to start.
Guys, there's just some strategy. That might have been some of the best strategy we've ever had on the podcast. I gotta you gotta rewind that. If you're at it, this is a great advice. So get to know a girl first. Just a couple things about her. See if you guys have common interests, and reference those common interests if you're going to be going on a potential date with her. So, for instance, Jamie, I could be talking to you at a poker table, and I might know more about you than a 5-minute conversation would let on. But I would say, Jamie, we're both interested in poker. We're both interested in maintaining your teeth to look a certain type of way. We're both interested in music festivals and dancing. You know, why don't we go to dinner and go talk about this more? And then you'd be like, oh, yeah, sounds like a great idea, sure. But if I was just like, hey, Jamie, I think I like your hair. Why don't we go get some dinner? You'd be like, go fuck off.
Yeah, you can't really talk about someone's hair for an hour, you know.
So that was really good advice. So basically, you want to ask the woman questions. Talk about what she's interested in, find that out, and then if you guys are compatible, so sometimes you're not going to be compatible, you have to go. But if you're compatible, then you say, hey.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you might think you want to take a girl out, and then you'll talk to her for 20 minutes and be like, that was so uncomfortable, I do not want to spend an hour with this person. You're saving yourself time, too. I think guys like always are trying to get the date, whether they even want it or not. Like, and I just think sometimes you're like creating a painful hour and a half of eating. So like if you meet someone naturally and you're like vibing, then it's like really easy to do that. And I feel like a poker table is like a really good spot to do that, but not like aggressively. Like some people are like, ooh, there's a girl at the table. Like I wasn't planning on it today, but let me try to talk to this girl for 6 hours. Like that's not what I mean. I mean, you could usually tell when a girl likes you, like is initiating conversation as well. Like when you like let a long conversation happen and then she finds something to talk about with you, then like maybe there's something to pursue. But like I don't recommend talking to a girl who's stuck, like a captive audience for like the tournament, because I've had that too where I'm just like, I really am gonna punt this tournament.
Have you ever met someone at the poker table and then went outside to make out with them?
Wait, what? Did I ever what?
Have you ever met someone at the poker table and then went outside the room to make out with them?
Like instantly? Was like I can't even sit for my big blind. I gotta go make out with this guy.
Well, something like that. Yeah, maybe over like a 2-hour, 3-hour time period table.
No, I'm not like I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd with stuff like I want to get to know somebody. I'm not just gonna be like, well, I need to bang this guy right now because he said like 5 of the right things.
It's more make out than bang, technically. But, well,
I really escalated it quickly.
No, it reminded me of a story I may have been involved in at one point in time in my life. But actually, that's not actually what happened. So never mind. I can't tell. No, that's not actually what happened. It was a 2, whatever. It was fine.
This is the part where I say, cool story, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So, Ian says dick pic is the new ASL, age, sex, and I guess it is kind of age, sex.
Yes! Age, sex, location. That was from like the AIM chat rooms. I was around for that.
Oh, I just called it age, sex, language. I don't even know what it means.
Location.
Age, sex, location. Okay, I guess so. You put in like
Yeah.
18 female, New York, and then people would. Okay.
Yeah.
As a female, Poker World is basically Tinder. Is that true? Do you think?
What?
Ian says, as a female, Poker World is basically Tinder.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why I have sympathy for guys who like try hard and try to like talk to girls, because it's like you're so outnumbered that like I would never be mean to someone who's like, maybe I'll talk to this girl. Like, there are some people who are obnoxious about it, but like the people who are just nice, like guys who are just like, I want to try this girl. Like, never gonna be a jerk because I know it's like 10 to 1. So it's like, of course they need to try with every girl because there's only like 5 of us.
Hmm. Can you talk about that a bit more? So, do you find that a lot of guys try harder? They try more aggressively? What do you mean?
No, I just mean like I have sympathy for a guy who's like lonely, a lonely poker playing guy who like doesn't like hookers, and then they need to like try to talk to real girls. So they like hit on dealers, they hit on waitresses, like poker playing girls. I just feel like that's like totally natural because they don't have a lot of options. So like I wouldn't hold it against someone to like hit on a girl at a table, but like let it go when it doesn't go well, you know? Like I only get annoyed by people who like can't let go. Like they clearly, like, I've seen it happen before where like a guy will be hitting on a female dealer for her entire down for half an hour where she's like 0% interested. Like she's a captive audience and has to listen to these comments, and she's like rolling her eyes and like totally hates the guy but can't get away. And I'm like, what is his game plan? Like just to make this girl really uncomfortable because she's never gonna like him. That I don't like. But like when someone has like one comment and like, you know, I'm gonna shoot it down, or the dealer's gonna shoot it down. It's like you don't have to be a jerk. You can just say like, no thanks. Like, do you want to get drinks? Not really. Like, just let it go. Because I feel like there are a lot of like lonely poker playing guys who think that they want like a girlfriend on the tour or something like that.
Tell you what, if you're a lonely guy out there, if you're a lonely poker playing guy and you need some help, you need some advice, you fucking hit me up. Send me a message. Me and my team will take a look at your message, take a look at the problem.
Yeah, except that.
Go. Except what? Except what? Go ahead.
The only thing is though, don't ask Joe Ingram about emojis because his emoji game is really weak.
Shit,
true.
okay. Go on. Tell me more about how terrible my emoji game is.
Do you remember on Twitter the other day that you were getting emoji coaching and you were just like going way too hard? You had like 87 emojis in like one tweet. And I was like, just dude, less is more. Like one little purple face emoji with the horns and the happy face is all you need. I'm giving you really good information right now.
So you're telling me that if I send you emojis in the future, I should only include a very limited number of them. I shouldn't include a lot of them.
Yeah. Use them sparingly.
Okay. You're kind of like oh, you're back. Okay, your video out.
I'm back. Sorry.
You're really teaching me a lot of tips and tricks today, Jamie.
You don't need them. You're meeting all these like festy girls, and I don't know what you do, but I'm sure you're fine.
Wait, I'm meeting all kind of what?
I was saying you're into like the EDC scene and stuff like that. You don't need help meeting girls. There are girls everywhere.
No, I've kind of retired for the music festival scene. Although I am making a return to the lifestyle in approximately 3 to 4 weeks at Coachella, and then I'm back.
Nice.
And now I'm back in it. I got 6 or 7 festivals lined up for this year so far. So, are you planning on going to any? I know that you enjoyed it.
Just EDC. I definitely calmed down because I went like nuts. Like the first few I went to, I was like, this is so fun. I'm gonna do this all the time. And then my brain was like, no, you're not. So I took a bunch of time off. I think I'll probably do EDC 1 or 2 days this summer. It's the best break ever. After like grinding a whole month, like it was so much fun last year. Just like go with a bunch of people and like just like literally not think about poker in the middle of WSOP for like 2 days straight and just like have a really good time. It's fun.
Yeah, I think when me and you first talked, we fell in love for about 35 minutes over our There was an actual
mutual.
I think there was like a one day and a half love there at some point in time, and we
had a 1 day virtual love affair, and then I saw your emoji game was so weak, and I was like, I can't do this.
Okay, dude, I didn't start using emojis on you for a year and a half later, or 2 years. Like that was That was a long time ago. That was in 2013? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think emojis even existed yet. That's why you had a chance for a day before you ruined it with something. I don't know.
Who says I
I'm
ruined it with
kidding.
something? Well, yeah, well, maybe you ruined
I'm kidding around.
it. Oh man. Shout out to my future emoji coach, who I think we all know very well. Do you know who my emoji coach is? She's
I
young.
forget. It was a guy on Twitter. You were.
No, it's a girl.
Now
Actually.
you're like, it's a girl. Who is it?
She's blonde. She's from the Chicagoland area.
I don't know.
Her name is Julie.
Hints? Juliana Cornelius?
Yes, that's my future emoji
Are you
coach.
talking about her? I'm in love with her. I love her. She's the best ever. And she's gonna lead you astray though, because she basically communicates only in emoji, and it's just out of control. But for girls to do it, it's cute. For a guy, it's just like, just use your words.
So I shouldn't get coaching from her on how to use my emojis better.
Probably not. Oh, I'm dying.
So what else do you have planned for this year? It's March 18th right now, 2015. EDC is the middle of June. What do you have planned between now and that point in time?
I have some really fun plans this summer. My friend, one of my best friends, Pete Mavro, is training for American Ninja Warrior, and he sent a big video in to try to get in. It's he did a really good job in his application, and he goes to several different gyms in Vegas. One of them is a trampoline gym. It's like all trampolines and like basketball hoops and stuff. And he goes to rock climbing gym, and there's ones with like obstacle course and stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do this summer anytime that I work out. I'm gonna do some running and then also like hit up a gym a week with him, these weird places. You should come. It's gonna be fun. Trampoline gym, come on.
I'm definitely.
So those are my plans.
I'm in for trampoline. That sounds like a good idea to me.
I'm gonna play a bunch of WSOP events, and I don't know. I had like a long lost best friend who we had a big falling out like 10 years ago. We used to live together in college and stuff. She moved to Arizona, and we like recently just started hanging out again. So I'm gonna go out there, and she's probably come out to Vegas a bunch. And she doesn't play that much poker, so that'll be helpful in the summer when everyone wants to do is play poker, to get away and go to Arizona for a little bit. What else am I planning? I don't know. Those are my plans for now. I don't plan that far ahead. So, what about you? Just a bunch of festivals?
What are my plans? I have some big plans, but I don't know what yet. I have a lot of video plans, YouTube plans, and poker plans.
YouTube plans?
YouTube plans, yeah. I feel like I could be utilizing my YouTube channel a bit more in terms of video ideas and stuff like that. Not in podcast related ideas, but video ideas basically. So, and then I'm gonna go to Vegas for like a month and a half, and probably I don't know what's gonna happen there. And then I'm gonna go to Tomorrowland into music festival in Belgium, taking the global journey there from New York City, and then I'm probably gonna go to Ibiza for a couple weeks in August, and then at that point in time,
your plans are cooler than my plans. You win.
I mean, I don't know. I'm probably gonna be dead at some point in time, but yeah.
Well, I think we all probably are.
Yeah. Well, with a plan like that, sooner than later. I think I have to acknowledge a comment that was said because there's some. She's alleging she's a woman, and that just doesn't happen in our chat. So, Callie, the realist OG. Okay, Callie.
Nice.
Callie's speculating Callie's alleging she's the realist OG, and then she says my boyfriend uses emojis like a girl, and it bothers me. Am I a bad person?
Yes.
Mark.
Yes. No, Callie sounds like the real OG. I think she's not lying. No, I really don't like it that much. Like one little winky face or something here and there is like all that is required. There's something about emojis that are very feminine. I can't put my finger on it, but like you don't want to use them all the time. Just letting you know. They're cute. Like if you want to be cute, like I feel like girls want to be cute. Guys don't want to be called like, oh, you're so cute, like a little puppy. Like you want to be like masculine, and I feel like emojis are not. Emojis are cute.
So does that mean I shouldn't use more than one? What if you're past that like that beginning point with a girl? What if you're like 3 weeks into things? Can you use more emojis then, or do you think that's
Well,
not TPO?
I think you need to listen to Callie, the realist OG, because she has a boyfriend who she doesn't like using emojis with. So, so I feel like even when you're already dating, it can be like a turn off.
I think anyone that calls himself the realist OG probably has a little bit different like mindset than maybe someone like Join Room One, myself. So I mean, I just like
Maybe, I don't know.
I just use myself in the third person. Callie, it looks like the answer is yes. It does make you a bad person. I think that's what Jamie's trying to say right now.
That is not what I was trying to say. Making me enemies.
Do you have any enemies on Twitter? Do you get a lot of trolls sent your way, a lot of hateful comments like I know most people get?
Not too much. Like, this is something I was like so happy with people on Sunday because I was really dreading doing Twitch because some of the Twitch streams I've seen girls do, there were just like random trolls that were like, I'm gonna rape you, I'm gonna kill your children, I'm gonna what? And I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I'm not kidding. There's like the weirdest comments. So I was like preparing for it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be grinding a Sunday, and people are just gonna be talking about rape. It's gonna be really fun. I maybe had like one or two trolls out of like 200 people, and one person in chat was basically like moderating for me. They were just like, don't be weird. Like someone would write something like, take off your shirt, and the person would just be like, hey, don't be weird, thanks. And I was like, cool. I didn't even have to say it. But I was really expecting people to be immature, and they weren't. Like, they were really nice, and, like, I don't know, really pleasantly surprised. Because randomly, like, I'll get a Twitter troll or something, but I don't care. Like, just feel like those people are pretty sad. Like, I don't know. Like, troll someone cooler, at least. Like, I don't really know what they're doing to me. Like, I was like, I'm a mid-stakes MGT pro that squeaks out a living, and, like, why are you picking on me? It's, like, the strangest thing. I don't think I'm that awesome. Like, usually you troll someone who's, like, super, super full of themselves or something. I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes they'll say something mean, and I'm like, I agree.
I do that all the time.
It's kind of strange.
I kind of like, I don't get too many on most places, but I enjoy them. They're kind of funny. Like, I read one a bit ago that said I was, about podcasting, it said I was, it said I was awkward and terrible at interviewing, which might be true actually. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know how to interview people. I just talk. Like, I don't. It's not like an interview. I try to look at these more like a conversation. But he said I was awkward. And I was like, maybe I'm awkward. So now
you're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I might be too. I don't know. I think he's right actually. Maybe I need to go to school and get some interviewing coaching. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll have to stop playing poker so much and I guess learn how to interview. Maybe I don't know. Do you plan on doing anything? I know you've been doing some interviewing on the website, on the blog, Party Poker blog, right?
Yeah, that's kind of fun actually, because I don't know, I like asking really ridiculous questions. Like, it's fun when someone I know wins, because then I could like troll really hard. Like, that's a fun kind of troll when you write interview questions that just like set them up for disaster. Like, this is kind of fun. So, you know, Scott Baumstein is sponsored by the site. Then there's, like, this other guy, Scott Blumstein, who's been crushing the site for, like, the year. He's won a bunch of tournaments. So I interviewed Scott Blumstein, and I wrote questions that were basically like, so what's it like to be the undisputed best Scott on all of Party Poker? Like, just set him up to talk a bunch of trash the whole time. And, like, interviews are fun. Like, when you get free reign, they just let me ask whatever I want. So you could kind of, like, get people to say really things if you, like, set up the questions right. And, I don't know. It's pretty fun.
I
enjoy doing it.
Sometimes what happens is when you talk to the people that you kind of know, maybe like I might talk to you and you say or ask them certain things. There's other people that like don't understand that you are like trolling on like on a personal level, and then they get upset at you, and then they hold grudges against you on Twitter that are like, what is this fucking guy talking about? That's what happens when you know people and then
But that was when, you know what, Jen was just sticking up for me because she's like, she's my best friend, and she knows I could be a pushover. Like, I don't get that upset. Like, you could say terrible things to me, and I'll be like, he doesn't mean it, whatever. But like sometimes it'll come across like that, and then it'll be on a podcast, and it's like, wow, he just like put this girl in her place or whatever, and like, so it's like Jen sticking up for me because she's a good friend. But I was like, I know Joe pretty well. I'm I'm not super offended. I was just kind of annoyed. I was like, when you're like, because you're a girl, I'm like, okay, Joe, all right.
Was that all I said? Was that the only thing I said? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Oh, we were talking about sponsorships, and you were like talking about how like you're like only attractive women get sponsored, blah blah blah. And I'm like, there are far more attractive women who are far worse at poker that could get sponsored if that was the only requirement. Like, there's a lot of them. There's like they're everywhere. So like that's not the only thing anymore. And that's like kind of no, they're not everywhere. They are though. Like they.
It's debatable that there's far more attractive women out there in poker than you, Jamie.
Rolling my eyes right now. But I was just saying, like, the people in the last few years who've gotten sponsored were, like, very well-rounded. Like, D Moon Girl, and Schwan, and, like, I'm trying to think who else has been sponsored. Jen Shahadi, like, she's one of the most intelligent people that I know, like, male or female, and she's not getting sponsored just because she's pretty. So that's why I was like offended by a couple of things, but I'm not really offended. I'm like I was like slightly annoyed and then got over it. And then when like Jen started pointing it out, I'm like, you're right, I am mad.
Goddamn shit. Have there been more women being sponsored lately in poker? Is it kind of been status quo for the last year or so?
I mean, no one's getting sponsored anymore anywhere. I feel like when more sites get to the U.S. or like the sites in the U.S. right now get to expand to more states, there's going to be a need for more sponsored pros to like help promote the sites. But right now it's kind of stagnant just because Sheldon Adelson is like on he's basically like 150 years old and somehow still has like all these politicians in his back pocket. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And he's a huge hypocrite who like runs Venetian casinos and still says like, oh, he's gonna like protect our youth from online gambling. Like, what? He doesn't care. I could go in there and lose $1 million in his casino, but you know, if I do it at home, then it's a bad problem.
Yeah, he's definitely leading the charge against online poker, online gambling in the United States, and sucks. What I gauged from going to the poker conference in LA was that it doesn't look like online poker is coming in the USA anytime soon.
I think it's gonna just be a really slow like transition. It's happening. Like California, it's like I feel like California is gonna be next. I just wish New York could do it. Like it's just we need one more state, Jersey. Like party's doing well. Like there was a 100K guarantee last weekend on a Sunday, which is like for one state that's kind of big. It's pretty good, especially with so many people leaving to go play the 9 million on Stars. We still were able to meet the guarantee, and I feel like that's kind of a big deal, but we need another state involved so that they can actually turn some real profit and like post some real tax revenue so that politicians realize this is like such a big deal and they could be making free that they're not right now.
Yeah, I think what they say about California, there was a couple really smart people out there. They said California was a couple years away still too.
A couple years. Why does this take so long?
That's what I think too. Like, why can't they just, get things in line? Yeah, I was hoping.
Sign something. Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping.
I feel like Sheldon Adelson's gonna be like 200 years old, and he's gonna be like Krang, and he's just gonna be a brain in a big glass bubble, and he's still gonna be paying politicians millions of dollars to do what he wants. That's what it feels like. Sucks.
I guess he could always, if he died, we could always have somebody that came after him and kind of led the charge as well, and that would be pretty.
There's nobody that's like putting millions of dollars behind it though. Like he really is. Like I don't understand it. I feel like he's trying to be relevant still, like, and he's trying to just like change things that he doesn't even fully believe in. He's had no problem with people losing their life savings in his casino, but he suddenly has a problem with people gambling at home. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not some like moral issue like he's trying to make it be. I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit.
Faden says the last 2 PokerStars Team Online members have been women. One of them plays satellites to the Sunday Million as her main game, so females are given good deals recently.
Yeah, there have been like some really weird hires at Stars recently, but I don't know. Like the reason one woman got it is because she was like grinding from like nothing up to like she had a decent story about like turning nothing like a bankroll, but I don't know. I feel like there are a lot I don't know, a lot better known, better qualified people than the ones they've hired. But obviously, I don't really understand marketing stuff as well as they probably do.
Yeah, it says Lilia Novikova, professional video gamer, and Sit and Go regular is the latest addition to Team Online. And then a glamour model, Yukio Matsukuha. Whoa, what the? An Asian glamour model, I guess. Now she's a poker star.
I guess it's just they're targeting certain markets, like certain regions. That's what it sounds like. So I think the hiring a professional video gamer is probably a really good idea, though. Like how Jen was like mostly in the chess world, and like she's bringing poker to people who play chess and like who maybe aren't introduced to poker. Like I think keep hiring people who are already like really entrenched in the poker world. Like who are they going to introduce poker to? Like what's the point of marketing these people? I think they realize that you need to like expand to people who are going to reach others.
Yeah, it might almost be better not to like hire any actual poker players as pros for the sites, which is weird, but it's like it almost might be better to kind of do what they're doing to hire these people that could reach a completely new audience. Because I know Daniel, when he was on Monday, he said something interesting was like, you know, what kind of revenue are you bringing to the site as a pro? And a lot of pros they had before weren't actually bringing any revenue to the site. But now, with I think that's what Stars is doing now, they're looking at people who can bring revenue, bring new players, like Tom Dwan, he said. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows Tom Dwan. He's not bringing any really new players to the site. Right. So, from us,
you do need these people, though. I disagree. Like, you need to sell this dream, though. Like, this is the problem with having no poker celebrity. Is like, remember when you were starting to play? Like, when I was starting to play in like 2002, I was like, oh, I want to be like this person, and this is hilarious, but like Annie Duke was like the coolest. Like I want to be like her. Like her and her brother play together and they play the 10K every year. Like that must be so awesome. And having these like role models, it turned out to be like the worst role model ever, but I didn't know at the time, obviously, and she's like shady as could be. But having people like that where I'm like, wow, they make millions from poker and they like started out from the bottom and they got to there, and like I feel like you do kind of need that. You need some successful pros that sell the dream of like, look how glamorous poker is and like how you could get here too. And not just be like, oh, you're a glamour model in Japan? Like, I can also be a glamour model in Japan and be a poker star. Like, that's not really, like, hidden with me. But if I see someone like, even like Schwan or D Moon Girl, like, if I was, like, 21 now, watching them succeed, I'd be like, I could do it. Okay. It's like intelligent women who, like, crush poker and they're doing well. Or, like, you could see someone who's, like, a PLO grinder who started out, like, 1 cent, 2 cents, and is now crushing, like, 200, 400. And then you'd be like there is a need for some pros like that too, in my opinion. Even though they're not reaching like a new audience, they are kind of like affirming the belief that like you can make a living in poker.
I 100% agree with that, and that's actually one of the reasons why I started doing PLO podcast initially, was because I wanted to help like build up some more people in the PLO community specifically, because I felt like you really need those stars and those top guys that people look up to. And when I started out the same way, I'd always look at the guys that were the pros, and you know, I looked up to them. I like aspired to be like them and that kind of motivated me to put in more hours, play more, do better, contribute so much rake to the site. And I think they still are. They're still doing that to some extent. But I guess now in the future they might be focusing on outside of that. That might not be. It might just be.
They need more. You don't need 100 successful poker pros. Like, you need some, maybe like a couple dozen that are like in various regions that they need to reach. And then you also need like Ronaldo, and you need like some glamour model and some video game girl, like people who are also going to branch out, and like Jen with chess, like she's going to bring new people in. Like you need some people who are like really entrenched in poker and have made it to the top and can be like examples for people who are trying. And then you also need these people who are going to reach brand new people, because if nobody starts playing poker like right now, we're only going to be playing against each other, and like the people around right now don't suck enough. Like we've all learned enough, you know, like even bad players in tournaments are now like aggressive bad, where they used to be like blind themselves out bad, where they literally have no chance to ever win. Now it's like even the bad players aren't quite bad enough. So if we don't get new players who are going to come in and make a mistake, poker's not going to go very well for any of us. So I do like the fact that they're like using a different marketing initiative, but I don't think they should like completely abandon the old model, because the old model did get a bunch of like us really excited to play.
Mm-hmm. I think the new model is the Twitch route. The Twitch is just It's like
Which is awesome.
I personally want to do more Twitch, but at the same time, I don't want to do more Twitch. But it's
You're gonna
becoming
teach
like,
everyone how to play.
no, it's not even about teaching how to play at this point. I mean, obviously, yeah, that's not what I want to do, but I'm very intrigued. I don't know what's going to happen with Twitch. I felt like I understood, I kind of knew what would happen, but now I'm not sure what's going to happen because I feel like what's going to happen is a lot more popular people are going to start streaming on there. They're not going to be as popular as they hoped or thought they'd be, then they're going to stop. But there's going to be a couple people who really
Right.
persevere through that, and then that's such a misogynist comment. I'm not even going to repeat it because I learned that that's a bad comment to say that someone just said in the chat. But I feel like what's going to happen with like I don't know. It's just there's so many more people streaming now. It's becoming more popular, and I don't know. I'm very curious. What do you think's going to happen with it? What do you see it happening? Do you see like these?
I think I'm excited that I think it's really good for poker. I think that's going to bring in some people who don't really have experience playing at all, and it's going to make them want to play. People are geared toward playing online poker. Like they've been playing video games forever. Like Twitch is mostly video game, and it's going to have like a new crop of people who are like learning the basics on Twitch and like watching these people play, and then putting money on themselves and playing. It's just that I wish that Twitch, like the advent of Twitch poker, would also have come at the same time that like certain states were letting regulated poker happen. Because then I think it would actually have a really big impact at getting new players in the game. But we're going to get new players wanting to play and not being able to play. Like that's where it's a little bit frustrating. Like think like you're in Mississippi and you're watching someone Twitch and you're like, wow, poker seems awesome. You go Google, where can I download these sites? Oh, only in New Jersey or out of the country. That's cool. It sucks.
Well, in theory, you can play sites that potentially you can play a couple sites from the United States, but
yeah,
in theory you could.
I can't really talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I actually know you can't talk about that, which is why I said it. What other thing I gathered from the poker conference is that people associated with legitimate sites need to never mention these actual illegitimate sites and give them any credence or credibility. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve McCurk says.
Because you really don't want to.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying you don't want to talk about other sites too because you kind of like by saying, oh, I've played on this site or like my friends played on this site, you're sort of like endorsing them and giving them some credibility when you really don't know. It could disappear tomorrow. It's not regulated. Like you could have 50K on a site and like if it's not regulated, we've seen it happen. Like Lock Poker, people are selling their accounts for 10 cents on the dollar because of what happened. Like I wouldn't want that to happen to any of my friends again, to have their whole bankroll just taken away because like some idiots don't know how to run a company.
Yeah, I think that I actually met with someone out in San Diego who was starting a cryptocurrency poker site that's kind of been going for a short period of time, and he was talking about wanting me to get involved with them somehow. And that was obviously my biggest worry was that, it's a super gray area in the United States, and also at the same time, like, what's just to stop you from taking the money and going? Like, obviously, you have some type of, but at the same time, I don't want to like recommend people that listen to my stuff and talk about your site on there, and then all of a sudden, if you ever leave, the risk is always there. I don't think it's worth it really. So I decline.
Yeah, you would like inadvertently screw over a bunch of your friends by like basically being a reference for this person. Like if you were like, hey Jamie, you should try this site that my friend started, and I'd be like, well, Joe wouldn't lead me astray, but you don't really know, like. And I feel like I've had stuff like that happen. Like Lock Poker was coming out, the woman Jennifer Lawson or whatever her name was like in meeting with me, and I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. It was like right before shit hit the fan too, so I almost like signed on to a site and then instantly trashed my reputation for no reason. I got really lucky being like, this doesn't sound like something I want to do. I was like, woohoo, faded one.
Well, I talked about.
I think it really did ruin a bunch of people's.
Yeah, I talked about I met Melanie Weisner in LA, and I kind of had forgot that she was associated with that whole entire thing, but it turns out she was actually very evil in some of her things that she did in terms of getting people to keep money on the site. Was that kind of what worked with that?
I've heard rumors. I don't know. Like I've heard rumors, but I don't really want to like trash her because I don't know. It's all speculation.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
I'm not wanting to trash a girl.
Yeah, I thought she was cool, man. And then I saw that, and people were yelling at me. They're like, "How do you not know that?" I was like, I forgot. I couldn't. I I didn't remember, but that was.
So many scandals now. It's like it got lost. But no, I don't know the whole story, and like I don't. So many people are so quick to trash other people that like I never know what's real or fake. So I don't want to trash Melanie when I don't really know the whole story.
Yeah. What a sad. What that lock poker thing was pretty. That was pretty shitty. Just that.
Yeah.
Even like the Muchos poker too, which I lost a bunch of money on too. I think they're still taking deposits to this day. And I think lock poker still taking deposits to this day?
I don't know. Why would they stop, right? If there's people dumb enough to deposit, they'd be like, sure, thanks. Help our company have some liquidity. It's a joke.
Yeah. Tim F says, Poppy, 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 Poppy. Wait, what do you say? Poppy, 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 Poppy. I'm trying to sing this song that he said. Do you ever say the word Poppy?
Poppy? Oh, I thought you were saying puppy, and I got really excited. I was like, I like puppies. No, I don't say puppy.
Okay, try saying it. Say Poppy.
Isn't that like very puppy? I don't think that's something I'm going to say. I don't know what context I'd say that in.
Why call everybody Poppy? Poppy! Let's give some shout-outs, guys. Hold on. Steve McCurgan, what's up? Mr. Excellent Poppy! What's up, Papito? I love giving shout-outs. Do you want to give a couple shout-outs, Jamie?
Couple shout-outs. Oh, yeah, I told my friends, Team Kitten, shouting out Team Kitten right now. That's my little, like, drunk crew that we go play. We play Trop 1-2 and just get wasted. And then we all like wake up with a lot more money. Like I don't remember a single hand I played last Friday, and that's my new little crew. Who else do I want to shout out? Obviously, shouting out Jen Shahadi, even though she tortured you with like feminist lessons.
No.
You need them though.
Okay, so I feel like I should tell you more of the story that happened with me and the young.
Yeah, I want more.
So let's just say it didn't end in torture, okay? I'll put it like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended in, I actually enjoyed, so she was really a really aggressive type of woman. And that was kind of refreshing. I was refreshing to meet someone that like that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who like stood up for their point, was like very like foot down, like
yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. So, you get, I mean, I got stalkers that watch this, so I can't say anything, but.
Okay.
Stalkers don't like it. I'm not saying nothing, but I hope to have her on a podcast sometime soon, and we're going to have a nice debate.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to give me coaching on how to be a better man, and I'm going to give her coaching on poker.
Well, this is the thing is with like poker world, it's like 99% male, so you won't even know that the stuff you're saying would offend a girl. That's why I wasn't mad in the podcast. I'm like, oh, like Joe doesn't even know that this is like an annoying thing to hear all the time.
That's
you
what
know? Like you guys don't know that we hear it all the time. Like, and that's my point. So that like talking to more girls, being friends with more girls, you learn the things that are like you might think the thing you're saying is like novel or funny, but you don't realize that we've heard it like 50 times that day, and it's just like an eye rolling type thing at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was realizing as I was listening to them talk. I was like, I didn't even know any of this was bad. Like, I'm not offended that you're yelling at me. I'm just like, I'm interested. I want to know more. Like, I'm curious to see like these theories and these ideas. I want to know more about them because I never even thought about them or realized them. So, so I think I need to have like a little coaching session on here though. Little coaching session. Someone in the chat said something. I'm just going to say what it is because I want to educate people out there because I'm now leading the charge. And he said she's smart for a girl. Now what I realized in that comment, that's one of the comments they said is a very terrible comment. So you want to say if you meet a girl, guys, you don't want to say you're smart for a girl. You want to say you're smart. That's it. Just leave it at that. You're not smart for a girl. You're just smart in general. Because any woman like intelligent or aware is gonna say you're smart for a girl, and then she's gonna hear that and be like, "This guy's a fucking idiot," and then they're gonna be turned off by that. So you don't want to tell someone for anything, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty correct.
You don't want
like I made a joke on Twitter the other day. This guy, I was like, he was like not flirty with me at all. He was like totally just like, polite, nice person at the table, whatever. And then at the end, he goes, "Yo, girl, I was checking out and I'm waiting for him to say something gross, and he's like, you're a Hendon mob, and it was sick. And I was like, that's a good compliment. Where he's like, oh, your poker results are good. Or you like pick something that's totally not a physical trait at all. Like anything that's like not physical is so much more of a welcome comment than like, you're pretty or something. Because it's just like cheesy. I don't know. Like,
Compliment.
I don't know. I feel like.
I'm taking a note. Compliment people on non-physical traits.
Yes.
Oh, boys. Jamie, Jamie, your conversation ability is rather superb.
I feel like I'm turning into a robot.
Okay, you're
gonna be like compliment robot. Jamie, your is superb.
Okay, you try it. Give me an example. I'm learning. You make something up for me, and then I'm gonna learn from it.
Now I have to think about it. It's tough because it's stuff that would come out. Like, think about compliments. This has happened a lot. Like, one of the things that I've changed in like the last few years is if I just think something nice, instead of just like holding it in, I'll just say it. So if you're like talking to someone, you're like, wow, you have really good style. Like, Shahadi has like the coolest outfits ever. So I'll just be like, wow, like you have really good style. I'll just say it instead of just thinking it. Like, that would be a compliment that's like welcome from a guy, like if you to her, rather than like, I don't know, like anything else that you guys would normally say. Nice ass or something stupid, you know? Or like a girl plays a hand really well and you're just like, wow, that was a really nice hand. That's like a way better compliment and will like work better in actually like having a girl be interested in talking to you rather than almost something else you say. I don't know. Or like asking her opinion on something, like with poker, like if a guy like goes out his way to ask an opinion, like, oh, how did you what?
As a great
what do you say?
On something. I think I went out of there, but I put down ask opinion on something.
My laptop's gonna die, so I have to leave Narnia and go downstairs. Do you want to come with me, or do you want to wrap it up?
Let's come with. Your choice. We'll come with and chat with you for a little bit longer. We're learning something today, guys. If you're talking to a woman, don't ever say for a woman to her. Compliment people on non-physical traits. Yeah, ask his opinion on something. It's perfect. Amy's going down to the cave at her place in New Jersey. Warm Deck says try bluffing her with a compliment. Black in your. Where do you live, at the dungeon?
Yeah, no, I live in a dungeon. I'm putting the light on. Oh. Oh, sweet. Shark Tank is on.
Hello.
Is this better? This is worse.
Let's see.
Better? Ugh.
Your selection of lighting is very great.
Yes. Okay.
Jane, what is your opinion on the ease with which it is to stream on Twitch?
It's pretty easy, I guess. I'm terrible at technology, so I had problems all day. Like, it would like cut out, and then it would take me like 20 minutes to get it back on. So I'm surprised anyone even watched at all. But towards the end of the day, it was easier. I need help like formatting and stuff, though. Like, if you go to Jason Somerville's page, it looks like a goddamn TV show. It's like beautiful. You go to mine, and it looks like I made mine on like an Apple IIe. Like, it is like the oldest looking thing ever. I basically have like the Atari version when he has like I don't even know what the cool new game is.
Atari version. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like. Oh, some speculation you're in a sex dungeon from the President Obama.
From President Obama, wow, you really reach a very elite audience.
Yeah, he's a regular. Obama's a regular. He's a regular viewer on our stream. He always comes in here.
Yeah.
What's your Twitch page if anyone out there is interested in following you on Twitch?
It's just twitch.tv/Jamie Kerstetter.
Jamie Kerstetter. Okay, and that's your Twitter. Your Twitter is Jamie Kerstetter, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Do you always wear hoodies on the stream? Maybe that might not be GTO for stream.
Yes, I think I did wear a hoodie. Yeah, one person said you'd get more viewers if you took your shirt off, and I was like, yeah, but like that's what webcam girls do. I was like, I think I'll just keep it on and continue the tournament.
So you think you're gonna have people focus on your face and your words rather than Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's the play.
Hmm. Dion Blaster says, Joey, you kind of look like Greg Raymer. Has anyone ever told you that?
Awesome. At least you're getting trolled too.
Well, I just ban people if they. He's a regular, so I'm not going to ban him. But ever since someone does dumb, I just ban them. So.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
That's
Steve,
what I should do on Twitch.
Steve asked a great question. Jamie, he's asking your opinion on this. I appreciate this. Jamie, what is your opinion on Joey's physical features? Would he be a suitable partner to take to the sex dungeon?
I don't live in a dungeon.
That's a great question, Steve. Go ahead, Jamie. Why don't you go ahead and answer that question?
I'm all set. I saw the wife beater and the winter hat and then didn't look at anything else.
Why not? What are you trying to say about my goddamn winter? Hold on a goddamn minute here. Hold on a second.
No.
Let me change out of the out. Let me get a new outfit. Hold on. Now we're good. All right. Now.
Wow, that's a lot better. Much better.
This is my spirit hood for music festivals. Some people know it. Do you have a spirit hood, Jamie?
I don't, because I don't understand. It's like 100 degrees. That can't be comfortable.
You'd be surprised, actually. Let's say, hypothetically, that you might take some performance-enhancing drugs at these festivals. You don't notice the heat. You're just dancing. You're having a good time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no one ever dislikes someone that's wearing a spirit hood either.
That's true.
Like, everyone likes you if you're wearing a spirit hood. They want to touch your face.
Because you look like an animal. So, yeah, I guess that's a good play.
Yeah, you did curve that question. Let's go back to that question Steve asked.
No, I'm all set.
Hold on, goddamn! You did curve that. Why'd you? Yeah, you slid right out of that question, huh? I thought you were an open book.
Mm.
Ian says, "Poppy, tell Jamie to peep the puppy love I sent her on Twitter. I've got sexiest puppy in game. I think he's trying to hit on you. Shout out to Ian.
You sent me puppy pictures. That's the way to do it. Sick. Checking it out right now.
Ask her if she thinks Lafort is as beautiful as we do.
I don't know what that means. Oh my god, this puppy is so cute. Wow. Is this yours? Is this his?
Ian, is that your puppy that you sent her? I gotta see this puppy too. Hold on a second.
See it.
Aww, what a...
But this is awesome. This is like a come hither puppy. He's like, hey.
Jesus Christ, dude. What a great puppy that is.
Wow, I want one.
Okay, Jamie, we'll talk some more poker here with you.
Hmm.
Why is Joey dressed like a furry? Callie, the realist OG says.
Callie, the realist OG might be my favorite poster.
Callie, we normally got love for everyone around here, but I'm not sure if we got much love for you because you're putting down the spirit hood. It's not a furry, it's a spirit hood. It's a spirit hood. Jamie was knocking the beanie, so I had to put on a spirit hood. I'm just taking my goddamn hat off. You guys are mean people in here, man. It's mean.
That's awesome.
These mean people in here. Just talking about the hats. Let me fix my hair. Hold on a second. Bam. All right, we're in. We're back. All right, cool. Jamie, 2015 poker. What's your poker goals? What do you want to achieve? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Good question. Well, now that I saw the puppy pictures, I want to acquire enough money to buy a house with a yard big enough for that puppy and then have it. That's all my goals now.
Is this why people say you're funny on Twitter? Do you say things like this?
I don't know.
Okay, so your goal is to win enough money to buy a house?
And have a yard and have that puppy, that specific one. I want to know how much Ian will sell it for.
So you want to buy? I think what if you date Ian? You might be able to get the puppy.
I don't think it's worth it.
Jesus, Jamie, you're just.
I'm kidding. I don't know this person.
You're just sending goddamn shots all around right now.
Yeah.
What the? You really? Okay, so your goal is to win. Is that your actual goal? Do you have any goals?
Sorry, I'm being trolled from my house as well. My actual goals are to play more cash, just like last year. I'm gonna play probably 50% of my hours in cash. I don't know. I want to final table a big tournament. It's been too long. I get 11th more than anyone in the world, and I'm tired of it. And I just want to break through and have one really nice score, and then chill out for a while. Travel more, but not for poker. If I like win something, I'm gonna like go to Hawaii and just hang out.
I like that. Are you actively working on your game still now as you used
Way more than I used to. Way more than I used to. I wish I had done this like 5 years ago because then I would have all the money. But I put in way more hours studying than I do. Well, it's probably close. I probably put in like 10 hours a week studying, watching videos and stuff, and then maybe like 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week playing, where I used to just like never study. I would just play, 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 and like think somehow magically I was gonna like teach myself how to get better, which is really dumb because you really just learn how to like make the same mistakes a bunch of times and then reinforce them so that's the way you play. So I don't do that anymore. And I've had way better results actually, like way more deep runs and way better cash sessions this last like 6 months after just like, studying more. So it's actually working.
We won't talk about those exact studying techniques that you use because are you still making videos for any training sites?
Yeah, Tournament Poker Edge. I made my first my Party Poker New Jersey series about a month ago. And that's another way I just feel like it's helpful because a lot of the people on TPE are from like everywhere in the country. A lot of people like Midwesterners and stuff. And I just think it's good to like expose them to regulated poker and be like, look, it doesn't suck. Like some of these tournaments have really big turnouts and like first will be 20K on a Sunday that I could play from my living room. I don't have to move to Mexico to do it. So I think that's kind of useful. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
Happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
Yep.
Happens to me all the time. Should I keep the hat off? Do you want to put on a hat too?
Do I want to put on a hat? I don't have a hat around here. I don't have a hat around here. Sorry to disappoint.
Who do you live with out there in New Jersey right now?
What? Nothing. Moving on. I was like, if you ask me about dating anyone, you ask me about boyfriend, you ask me, I'm not answering it. And I'm sticking to it.
I said who do you live with there?
A black and white husky puppy.
I thought you might live with some friends. In a poker house there.
Mhm. This summer I might. I think I might in Vegas actually. Get a house this year because I was like at the Rio almost every year. I'd stay there almost the whole time. And that is something that makes people want death. So I think this year I might actually share a house with some people and live a more normal life.
If it's an all-woman poker player house, count me in for a room. I'm in. I'll record it and document it for a nice series, a nice video.
That would be pretty fun. I bet we could have some drama.
Drama? Who drama? Jen's in the house. You're in the house.
Yeah, Jen. She's a real catty bitch, that one.
Jen, she's so drama. Who else? What other women are in this house?
Who else do we have?
I'm the documenter of the house. I'm making the videos for the house. That sounds great.
I think there'd be no drama. I'd have people like Jen and Juliana Cornelius and like who else? Allie Schultz. I'd have like the least dramatic people. That's the only way I would live with a bunch of chicks.
Sounds like my kind of house.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
A bunch of women, a little bit older than me, in a house.
Yep.
Talking tournament poker. What could be more exciting than that? Oh, tournament poker.
Actually, it's not so bad. I actually think I really like talking to women about poker. I feel like I don't know. Jen's great. We've been talking more hand histories lately, and I feel like it's actually going to help both of us because she's more of like the mathematical, like strictly mathematical, and I'm more like I've had so much more experience in live poker. So there are times when we'll be talking about a hand and she's like, mathematically this, and I'm just like, yeah, but LOL live pro this. Like this guy was like jumping out of his seat, like so pumped he has aces. Like sometimes you have to ignore the math and just realize that like there is some like live pro stuff that you learn over the years, but she's great with the math stuff because I've ignored it for so long. I've just been like, oh, it'll be fine. You don't have to study that much. And then you realize everyone is studying, and if you're not, then like why bother playing anymore? It's not worth it.
Man, if only you guys played PLO.
Play a little bit. You got me. I started playing PLO 8. That's fun.
Let's not talk about that game. Let's talk about PLO. You been playing some PLO, Jamie, or what?
Just a little bit. I played, well, because I went to these Run Good Gear stops, and they're like in Middle America, and Middle America loves PLO. They do not love No Limit Hold'em. So, yeah, you're going to get them, because I was getting them. I don't even know how to play.
Okay, what do you think your biggest problem so far? I've never took PLO Strat, but I'm gonna talk some PLO Strat with you right now. You can ask me 5 questions. I'll give you answers to 5 question spots.
I don't even know what I should ask. Help.
Go ahead.
I don't just teach me stuff. I don't even know what to ask about. I'm new. Help.
We'll have a casual PLO conversation. What do you think is the place where you're having some problems identifying something in PLO?
I don't know. I'm on the spot now. I'll write you an email. I'll think of some stuff. I think I play too many hands, like, because every hand looks good when you play No Limit. Like, you're like, whoa, 4 cards. Like, I can make so many hands with these cards. I think that's a problem. But for me, like, I've just been short stacking games while I'm, like, learning how to play. And basically, just getting it in with dead money on the side, like how you'd short stack a No Limit game. Like, take hands that have a chance and find some way to pot them and squeeze someone else out free. But, like, that's all I'm doing right now. And that's all I was doing when I was in Oklahoma. Because I don't know how to play. Like, I'm not going to go lose, like, $1 billion to you guys who actually know what to do post-flop.
So how are you getting better at trying to learn PLO then right now?
I grind a little bit online, like, playing small. Like, we're playing, like, 25 cent, 50 cent. With players who I think may be worse than me, but I'm not sure because my sample size isn't big enough yet. But I don't know, just seeing more hands. Like, I'm seeing a bunch of hands, and then when I'm playing live, I feel kind of comfortable, actually. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to be, like, this awesome PLO guest right now. I've played, like, combined total of, like, not very many hands.
No,
like a couple thousand hands.
But you're in the position that a lot of No Limit players are, where they want to play more PLO, or they're starting to play more PLO, but they don't even know what the questions to ask are. You know, they don't know how to get better. They don't know what to say. Like, and they don't. Yeah, no love for short stack. We got no love for that short stacking bullshit around here. We ain't even gonna advocate.
I know, because it's actually profitable. In PLO, it's way more profitable than in No Limit.
You got a receipt on this profitable short stacking of yours?
What?
You got some receipt? You got something to back up this?
No, I'm saying, like, the fact that in No Limit you can still get screwed because people can combat it more easily. They're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, like, I'll limp behind with a big hand and trap when the short stacker's obviously going to shove. But in PLO, like, okay, what are you really trapping with? Like, hands aren't quite as far ahead or behind of other hands when you all have 4 cards. So being a short stacker and just getting heads up with someone with, like, a bunch of dead money on the side is almost always going to be good for you. That's why you don't love short stackers. That's why I enjoy being a short stacker, because I'm like...
what is it you enjoy being a short stacker? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
And then I double up, and then I actually have to play. Like, this is where it got a little bit shady for me, because I was like, I have a lot of money in front of me now.
You know that feeling when you talk to someone and you're like, I like everything this person says. They're so cool. They're so fun. And they just say something like that, and you're just like, I can't believe I even like that person ever when they say some goddamn comment like that.
But look, once I double up and I have money in front of me, I'm probably going to play pretty bad. You're good at back. Don't worry. I still play. It's not like I short stack, double up, and leave. I'm not going to hit and run you guys, but, like, sorry.
I want to give some advice on how to. Okay, so okay, so let's say you get deep, right? What would be your approach then? How would your approach change from short stacking? Short stacking's great. Short stacking's the best. Short stacking. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that. To 100 big blinds deep. What would be your approach then? How would your approach change in a PLO game?
Play fewer hands. I just tighten up pre-flop, and then basically it's the same. I'm not a tragedy. Like, I can play No Limit Hold'em, so I'm not like a complete tragedy at PLO. I'm not like, what is this game I've never heard of? Like, but yeah, I just like try not to get too heavily involved pre-flop, see some flops, and not commit like $1,000 in a 2-5 game without really knowing what I'm doing. Because I feel outmatched. Like, all these people have played way more than me. So it's like basically nut pedaling, and when it doesn't work out, just pitching my hand. That's where I'm losing a bunch of equity, because I'm like, I never know when a hand is like good enough to go with. Where like you would just crush me, because I'm giving up all these small pots that I know I probably shouldn't, but I also don't want to put $1,000 into. That's why short stacking is like training wheels for PLO. Like, I don't want to like get stacked and just leave, you know. But it's like if I'm buying in for like $300 at 2-5 PLO and just sitting there, it's like I'm getting a cheap lesson.
True.
It's less scary.
Wormdex speculates that you might be the type that doubles up and then takes a phone call. All of a sudden you got a phone call and you got to go. Are you that kind of player? How many phone calls have you taken in the middle of a session? A PLO.
That's actually really funny. No, like, I'm really not. Like, I'm not trying to like ruin the game or something, but I'm just trying not to lose a whole lot of money when I'm like learning to play. That's why I'm playing online mostly. And when I'm playing live, I'm like short stacking smaller games, because like I do want to play live, but I don't want to like bust a No Limit bankroll playing PLO. But funny story about the phone call thing. One time I took a shot at 10 1/4 No Limit, because the game was like absolutely incredible, and my stakes at the time were 5-10. I was like, I could probably like play this game for a day and then take a month off of 5-10. And I ended up
What'd you buy in for,
scooping.
Jamie?
Huh?
What'd you buy in for?
6K. One
10,
for 6K.
10,
Huh?
6K? You didn't buy in for 600, you mean? 10, 25,
At
6?
1025, you can't. I think the minimum was like 1500 or something, or 2K.
Okay, so you bought it for 6K. Now
No, it's 2500 to like
hold
10.
on. We're getting more interested in backing. You're not short stacking this time.
No, I didn't short stack that game. This game was so good that I was like taking a big bankroll risk just to play it. It was like, it was ridiculous. I can't explain to you why. There were like two very awesome people in this game. So I sat down and I ended up like winning like 5,000 in like 2 hours.
Nice.
And I stacked this guy and he's just like looking at me and I'm like staring at the money in front of me. I'm like, I have like 11,000 in front of me and I really want to leave. So I texted one of my friends. I was like, can you come back here and ask me to dinner, please? So he comes back there and he's like, hey, you want to grab some food? I'm like, yeah, I actually do want to grab food. Like, let's go somewhere nice. I got to pick up. So embarrassing. So I couldn't do anything about it. I was like, I'm taking a huge bankroll risk. I basically doubled up. Like when I was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't play. Like I can't play profitably when I don't even want to have aces right now. Like that's how I felt. I was like, I gotta get out. Because having 6K in front of me was scary, and then having 11K was just too much for me to handle. I'm like, I gotta just get out. I gotta hit and run these poor people.
I understand that scenario. We're learning a lot about you, Jamie, but I totally agree with that approach. Though I would have not done the same. I would have not done the same thing, but I can understand why someone would do that same thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't be too degenerate. I mean, buying into that game takes some aggressive.
I was so scared. I didn't realize how scared I was until I bluffed a river. I check raised, bluffed a river, and I was like so nervous that I was like, I shouldn't have done it just because I felt like at those stakes you could look at me and just know how nervous I was. Like, I usually don't get nervous playing cash, but I was like, I check race like 2,400, and I'm just like, gulp. Like, I can't play this game. I was like, as I'm playing the hands, I'm realizing how much the money means to me, and I really needed to not play it. So my friend saved me.
I can't believe Wormdeck called this. Like, he predicted this.
Yeah, I know. That was like a really sick soul read.
Now, I recently learned of Wormdeck from a friend of mine, so... This guy sounds interesting, man. I might need to get some more premonitions from this guy. He's
Yeah.
But in regards to PLO, Jamie, if you ever want to do a sweat session or anything like that, you can let me know.
For sure. I do want to get better, but I'm not putting that much time into it. Like I'll play small stakes or whatever as like something to mix up what I'm used to, but I'm not like there's so much in No Limit that I need to get better at first, and I've put enough time into that like switching to PLO and abandoning it seems like a dumb idea. I don't know.
Well, I think that's one of those $1 million questions that a lot of people have. It's like, when do you, it's how much do you put into learning a new game? How much do you then take away from your current game? If in the future, is it good to deal with the variance that comes with a game like PLO? Plus, also your skill level is going to be lower at PLO. You're going to have a lot of swings. You're taking time away from this game you're consistently making money at, debatably. So it's kind of like figuring out, how do I balance these two? And for me, when I finally switched to the one completely, was when I finally started to do extremely well. But I tried balancing the two; it never worked out. I wasn't getting much better. So, it was, Daniel T says, liking this girl is like PLO, so much variance. I changed my mind like 5 times.
I don't mind that, though. That means at some point he liked me. Thanks.
That's very true. That's very true.
I feel bad that I said I'm short stacking your PLO community. Just like let it be known, I'm losing money to you guys, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And it's also like, come on, I'm in Oklahoma. This doesn't really affect you guys. Like I went to Oklahoma to play, and I'm like short stacking a 2-5 game.
What you trying to say? You don't got love in Oklahoma right now? You trying to say none of the people listening live in Oklahoma?
I don't know.
You say they don't have
internet? They love their PLO there, dude. They love it. They hate No Limit. I couldn't even find a game. I went there for a tournament series, and I was like looking for No Limit. They had like 4 PLO games, various buy-ins, and then one 1-2 No Limit, and that's it.
What's the name of this casino you're talking about right now?
It was in Tulsa. There's a Hard Rock in Tulsa, and there's also I forget what the name was, but it was an Indian casino also in Tulsa.
So there was a Hard Rock casino that had 4 PLO games there, you're saying?
Yeah, and they had 1 No Limit. They didn't even have a 2-5 No Limit game.
And what were you there for? You were there for a run
Good gear. They had a series out there. They're mostly like Midwestern. They're a company, like a clothing company.
How do you start a poker series? I want to start a PLO series. How do they do that? How does that happen?
I don't know how he did it, but he has like the guy who runs the company, Tana, has like sick connections because he has the casinos actually like putting up some buy-ins and stuff and like hosting it, and he's running these series. But he did a great one in Iowa just now. They had a $250K guarantee, $600 buy-in. It's pretty sweet.
How do they just start a poker series, a tour? How do they? That's.
I don't know.
To
be pretty good at marketing, I guess.
I need to have this guy on podcast, man. This guy sounds
You
awesome.
should. He would probably love it. He's the nicest ever.
It leads me.
Sorry, cut out. What'd you say?
Yeah, like, okay, so two future guests. Who would you recommend that I have on the podcast that would be fun / entertaining / inspiring / informative, or any of the
You should get Tana. I feel like he'd be fun. Like you'd like him. He's a super likable dude. And you could ask him because there's stuff I don't even know. Like how do you just have this idea to start a company and then you're starting to have like poker series and a clothing company and all this stuff, and he hires pros, and I'm like, I don't understand how it all works, but I think he'd be really good for the show. And also obviously Jen.
Well, of course I'm gonna have Jenna, and Jen's my Jen. So maybe another person besides
Jen's
Jen.
your Jen. Who else?
Maybe another person.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll think of somebody. I'll tell you later probably. But put on the spot, like those are my two people. I don't know.
All right, I gotta talk about a comment. Josh Carroll says, "Would you ever venture to or Joey Hollywooded me over his trip in L.A.?" Josh, that's not true. I messaged Josh. I was like, "Hey, let's hang out this weekend. Let's go big girl grinding. Let's go out there. Let's get some sims. Let's run some sims. Let's find some girls." And Josh's like, "Okay," and then nothing. Then I messaged him again, nothing. 2 days later. So Josh, this motherfucking guy, he reversed in the situation. He didn't want to go out there and big girl grind with me. I was trying to run some sims. That's all I gotta say about that. That's all I gotta say about that. Daniel, and what people want? They want D Moon Girl, and D Moon Girl, I believe, just.
Yeah.
But no, she's no, I don't want. I use this term. I use the term podcast whore. Podcast whore is someone who goes on a lot of podcasts. I don't like having podcast whores on. So if you go on a podcast, I don't want to have you on my podcast. I don't care who you are. I don't want to have you on.
Okay.
Girl, maybe she might go on a lot of podcasts. Maybe I'll be interested in having her on if she's not doing that. I don't know. You ever heard the term podcast whore?
I did not, but now I know it. But I think I should probably get going soon because I've been on this podcast for like half my life.
Oh yeah, we're wrapping it up right now.
Okay.
That was my last. What do you say?
Said I gotta get on the grind, my live cash grind.
Are you going to the casino right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go pretty soon.
Jamie, wish you luck, my beautiful friend.
Thank you.
Guys in the stream, much love. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the questions. You want to follow Jamie on Twitter at
Jamie Kerstetter.
Jamie Kerstetter, names in the description. If you want to follow her on Twitch, twitch.tv/@
Jamie Kerstetter.
Jamie Kerstetter. And anything else you want to plug? Party Poker in New Jersey? Anything?
Yeah, Party New Jersey. You guys should all try it out when you come to New Jersey.
All right, Jamie. I'll see you soon. We'll have a dance-off when I see you in person next time.
Sounds good.
And
talk to you soon.
guys in the chat, much love. Peace out. Adios. Be back Friday, I think.